Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
All right, welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Oh man, here we go. It is Friday. Weekend is here. Welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Got our friends with Due South going to be stepping in here, and I am curious to hear what is the future of one of the best breweries in South Florida. They have created the Caramel Cream Ale and the Cat 3 and just Citrified. It goes on and on and on. So hopefully we'll be able to unpack everything. I don't want to blow up their spot and get them in any kind of trouble, but hopefully they can share with us what is the future of the brewery and then what the hell happened too. We're all stunned by the news.
I brought some money just in case you want to throw our hat in the ring for maybe trying to buy one of these recipes.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll start off low and see where we go.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm all for it. So we'll get to some beer here in a second. A few emails to take care of first. Couple interesting things that I did not know yesterday. I had just briefly touched on Carol Jenkins Barnett. She was the heir to the Publix fortune. I think still had 20% stake in it. She was worth $2.1 billion at the time of her death. She died relatively young at 65.
Wow, that is young.
Week. Yeah. She had some health issues. She had early onset Alzheimer's.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sucks, man.
It does. It does. Yeah, it's not a fun thing. My grandfather had that. I had to sit in the front seat and basically watch him for 3 years as he went through it, and it's terrible. It's god-awful. That's awful. Yes, it is not good. So that's what she went through. But interesting little breakdowns here. Cesar had said, 20% of Publix is owned by Jenkins. 80% is owned by their associates, their employees. So it's kind of a stock breakdown. So that's kind of interesting where they have the employees have invested in the company, and in a sense, they are majority stakeholders.
Wow.
Over even the creators of it. It's the largest organization owned majority by the associates in the country.
Huh.
How about that? A little fun factoid about Publix for you.
All this Publix talks make me want to get some of their sweet coleslaw. Love that.
I wonder, what kind of money they make off of that, every year when they pay out their dividends.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated to see the cash breakdowns on things, and those kind of numbers are fascinating to me.
It's probably one of those things where you really see the fruits of your labor about 15 years in, I'd imagine, right?
I don't know. I think it would matter on how much stock you held, right?
Yeah, if you're talking 80% and she only had 20 at worth $2.1 billion, then just imagine, what everybody else. Of course, you're sharing that with.
You're sharing it with all the other associates,
people,
but still, you're talking about a lot of money, and they made way more money during the pandemic. They are one of those companies that blossomed.
Longer you're there, more shares you get.
Yeah, probably. They probably do have some sort of package, a compensation deal where you get more money, you get more stock as you've grown through the ranks.
Yeah. And then I got an email from our old intern, Caitlin. Good to see she's doing well. She's working with Odyssey in Orlando as an afternoon traffic reporter.
Oh.
Is that Caitlin
Oh.
Larkin?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
Yes, it
yeah.
is. Yeah, she had hit me up when we were talking about Suits and, our claims to our Jewish KVJ members, and she said, keep in mind, I was the first. You're right. You're right. So she wanted that title. She wanted to make sure that she still holds it, even though Suits are current. She would have been the first. And she had worked Carol Jenkins Barnett's 60th birthday just 5 years ago.
Wow.
And she had it at the Hard Rock Live venue in Orlando. It was and probably still is the most expensive event we had done at the time, $1 million party.
Wow.
She only invited a couple hundred people in a venue that holds over 3,000. Huey Lewis and the News were the live entertainment. It was pretty cool to watch the show from the upper balcony when the guests were on the floor of the venue. It felt like I had a private show. So
and who doesn't love Huey? Don't answer that question.
I think everybody here loves Huey.
Did you, when you grew up, was Huey Lewis and the News too soft for you?
No, I liked them okay. They got overplayed with the sports album that they had. I liked I Want a New Drug, and I liked a song called Heart and Soul that they had.
Such a good song.
Right. So I kind of was a fan of those songs of Huey Lewis and the News. And then the Heart of Rock and Roll, I was like, okay, I get it. The Heart of Rock and Roll still beating. Like, I heard it was how RMF does that for a majority of the songs you love today. We beat it into the ground. Yes, radio did that to me with that album.
The Power of Love.
It was, yeah. So those older Huey Lewis songs, still a fan of. And Publix, which is home here in South Florida to a lot of interesting musicians or not, at least people trying to get some extra money. It's now a thing. Everybody's going to stores all over America and the world looking for who is trying to get money from them by playing a musical instrument or not. Kristen is in Huntington, West Virginia. She was there, unfortunately, for her dad's funeral, but she ran across a family in a grocery store parking lot there. And instead of fake violin, they're playing fake accordion, and you can see their child is completely bored and cold and falling asleep on a folding chair.
I mean, we can't even get a little egg for them to shake?
No.
Something? A little percussion?
No tambourine?
Yeah.
That's what you got in cold, dark, depressing Huntington, West Virginia right now.
We can't get a fucking bell?
Fake accordion.
That would be a tough day, sitting with Dad in the parking lot as he fake plays accordion while you just sit and chill in a folding chair. I get why they're looking down and passed out.
That's some depressing
That
shit
is.
right there. That is a depressing picture.
That's a tough day.
Holy shit. It looks like it's dreary out. Oh.
West Virginia is a dreary place this time of year, unfortunately. Spent a lot of time there. Ashley is defending her comments. She said, my die on the hill comment about my kids not sharing toys. I just want to clarify a little bit more. I was laughing at Virginia Jaybird's reaction because I can fully understand how it sounds. Probably sounds like he's Smeagol hoarding the ring, but that's not the case. For the record, and not to sound biased, but my oldest son is one of the most loving, generous, and thoughtful 7-year-olds I've met. What I've done with him sort of followed the Montessori sharing method. That basically means instead of forcing shared turns taken with toys, forced sharing actually has been shown to stifle generosity and make sharing annoying to the kid, which leads to more tantrums and a negative association towards it. My son loves other kids to play with him and his toys, but when he's in the middle of playing with something, he doesn't have to just give it up because another kid walked up wanting to play with it, the said toy. He will politely tell them, sure, when I'm done with it, okay? And I've actually seen him make it a point to then find the child that asked for the toy when he was done with it and personally hand it over to them rather than being forced to give it up in the moment, is what she's saying. So it's a parenting technique by that. So there you go. That's an explanation for it. So.
Yeah, our brains just broke.
Did it? That was too much for you?
It's so layered, and every situation is going to be different. And yeah, I mean, should someone be able to walk up to your kid while he's playing with his toy train and snatch it out of his hands and say, you better share? No. Nobody wants that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's got to be a give and take, a compromise.
Yeah.
This is so boring. I'm boring myself.
I'm trying.
As I'm talking, I want to punch myself in the throat.
I'm trying to be less dicky on the air.
I should have skipped Ashley's email.
Will you please punch me?
Sometimes I knew that was not going to. As soon as you started reading that email, this ain't going to go well.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. My apologies.
No, don't apologize.
Okay.
Virginia and I are being bitches right now.
We got Angie, who wants to know if gift cards make good Christmas presents. She said,
as long as you know who you're giving it to and they would appreciate it.
okay, she said, I've thought about getting them gift cards from their favorite stores and restaurants, as well as from grocery stores like Home Depot. So my dad has his own lawn maintenance business. My reason for it is to have some extra spending money after the holidays. What is better, to have a gift card to a store that you know somebody likes, or just give them flat out cash? Or is cash just, man, they put no thought into this. They just divvied up a stack of money and just threw it my way.
To me, anytime someone gets you a gift, I try not to ever go, why didn't you do it this way? I mean, there's a lot of people in this world that never get anything. So if someone's giving me something, whether it's money, if it's a fucking rock with a smiley face painted on there, you try to do something, and I will always appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
but if you're
trying
you want to leave a good impression with your gift. So I think, and that she's on that side of it. What would you recommend to somebody so that they can have the best chance to leave a good impression? I'll have Suits put that up. We can put that up to see what people would say. Would you rather get a gift certificate to your favorite store? What makes the better gift for Christmas?
I think the
gift certificate to the store you like, or cash?
I think gift card to the store that they know you like, because at least it shows that you made some effort to take interest in what they like.
But if we are all being completely honest, let's say you buy a $100 gift card for TJ Maxx. Everyone can find something in TJ Maxx that you can like, but if someone really said, would you rather have a TJ Maxx $100 gift card or $100? I'd say definitely $100. Easily, because
then the world is your TJ Maxx.
I can spend that on anything I want.
Right.
And I've never been offended by getting cash for a present.
And we know you're going to go right to the liquor store.
Well, I'm just going to be able to I can't buy liquor at TJ Maxx.
Thank you. And that's a problem, TJ Maxx.
Yeah, the cash seems like it's easy because, people's interests too fluctuate at crazy amounts. Like, I might run into you and we have a conversation and you tell me that you're into such and such. But then a month later, you may not be into that. If you would have talked to me on the middle of October, I'd be like, man, anything booze. Go on ahead and get me vodka, tequila, whatever you want. And then on November 1st, I'm like, I'm going to take a little break from it. And so, you could get me Total Wine and all that kind of stuff. Be like, here you go. And I'd be like, I'm not really drinking right now. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, you are a slippery one.
I am. And so maybe I change and I'm a chameleon more unlike anybody else. But I could get where cash seems impersonal. And it's like, right now, the chat room is 69% are saying cash is better to 31% saying gift cards.
I mean, you give somebody $100 with a nice, well-written card, and they give you attitude, go fuck yourself.
Sure, and you shouldn't give attitude, but it's just, again, it's you trying to make the best impression. And hopefully they are still receptive to it, but what would give them more joy? Would it be, yay, cash, or yay, gift card? Because that's what you want. You want somebody to have the ultimate amount of yay.
But I'm just thinking about different relationships in my life. So I've got a relationship with Jay Bird, and it's different from, like, say, my relationship with, my kid's Uncle Jerry. I wouldn't ever give Uncle Jerry $100 cash. I just wouldn't do it because it wouldn't be appropriate for our relationship. And it would just be like, what? Why did you give him cash? No, for him, I would want to get him a special gift that's about his and personality. I think for Jay Bird, too, I wouldn't give you $100 cash.
You wouldn't, because here's the thing. You love to get gifts. You're into gifts. You're good at giving gifts. You're zoned in. And yeah, if you get someone a specific type of, if you get me Bigfoot socks, I'm going to obviously love that. That's a very cool thing. But you're very zoned in to me, too. Not everyone's zoned into everybody.
Yeah, so maybe it would be a different answer depending upon how close you are to the person.
Yeah, I would never give you guys cash. That would be a weird fucking gift.
That would be weird.
Yeah, so maybe if you're further out from somebody's inner circle, cash would be better. But if you're real personal, so it's almost maybe like, think of it kind of like a bullseye or a target that you would shoot at. The bullseye would be the perfect gift right in the middle. That's something very personal that the person would love. And the further out you get from that, that's the less you know them. So maybe gift cards is somewhere in the middle. Cash is all the way on the fringe. It's like, hey, obviously you can use this. I don't know you well enough, and I don't want to get you something that you're going to have to return or you're not going to love.
Well, I would feel weird giving you guys cash, not because I just think it's a weird present to give to you guys, but if you guys gave me cash as a present, I wouldn't be offended. I wouldn't think it's weird. Like, they ran out of time and they just gave me cash. It's pretty cool.
Here's $10.
I'm not overthinking going, what does this mean in our fucking relationship?
Yeah. Please don't overthink a gift that someone just gave you because they were in a hurry.
And it's
They
gonna
did not
happen.
put thought into it, and you shouldn't either.
And some people are shitty gift givers. That's why
That's
that's why they
true.
give cash, because they know they're not good at zoning in like a Virginia. They go, you know what? I'm not going to spend the time to do all that. Here's some cash. Maybe you give a little bit extra because you're not going out and searching for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Or do whatever you want to do.
Yesterday on the show, we were talking about weird traditions from around the world, and one of the weirdest I'd ever heard was in Spain. In the nativity scenes they have there, they always put what is called the El Caganer. It's the pooper, is how it translates. And it is a statue of a pooping boy or pooping man, whatever it might be. It's a weird thing. And it generated back in the 17th to 18th century. So it has been around for hundreds of years. And the caller that we got yesterday is somebody that works at my wife's school. She's the Spanish teacher there, and she married a guy from Spain, and she lived there for several years. She said it's everywhere. I ran into her last night, and she was telling me about it. She's like, oh, I called in. I was like, oh, cool, thank you. And I said, it was very informative. She said she's going to Spain. She's going to get you a little pooper, Jaybird.
That's great.
But she said that they will do them in celebrities.
Yeah.
All kinds of things. Like they had a Donald Trump one where he's popping a squat and there's a big pile of poop right behind him. And that's a thing that they do. Everywhere you go in Spain, the nativity scenes have the little pooper in there. Kind of crazy.
And they'll put anybody on the pooper.
Yeah. So it's, that's the thing. So it's a huge thing. I'm like, it sounded so bizarre, but I'm actually kind of into it. Now, it doesn't make any sense. I don't think anybody knows where it happens. I guess it's as they were trying to introduce it and they're trying to get kids interested in it. But kids weren't apparently very fascinated with the baby Jesus. But when you had somebody taking a shit, all of a sudden kids are like, hey, look at this.
It is weird.
So it got kids involved with the nativity scene, and they would start looking for it. It became a fun game. And parents are like, well, whatever we got to do to get them interested in the baby Jesus, we just got to put a little dude in here taking a dump.
It's brilliant. I think it's such a fun thing to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So apparently you're going to get an authentic little pooper, Jaybird, coming from Spain.
That's amazing. I feel like most humans enjoy a good game or a puzzle or a riddle.
It's fun. Yeah. Catherine sent an email. She said, I grew up in Connecticut, and she said every year we'd have Santa put an orange in the bottom of our stocking. I think it was passed on because of the Depression, but in that part of the world, that's what they would do.
Why would they do that during the Depression? Just because, hey, we have oranges. At least you get that, kid.
Maybe that was it. Maybe oranges back then were hard to come by, and that was a huge token of, wow, we have an orange. It was like a sign of wealth and opulence. And so they would get an orange. That's how tough times were. If you got an orange, you'd be like, wow, yay.
That is really depressing. If that is what I'm getting excited
That's
about.
why they called it the Depression.
Is an orange. Oh,
That makes me depressed, Kevin.
well, yeah.
So they named the era right then.
They crushed it.
They were on brand.
They're on brand.
It makes me very depressed thinking about just eating an orange.
Nailed it with the name.
Yep, that's it. And Doug sent in an email saying, hey, I love the bit you guys did talking about the kids today finding that they're loving older music. And he said, I have taught in high school, in a group that I work with, they believe that too much of today's music sounds too corporate, and they love the music of my era, Beatles, Stones, Janis Joplin, all that kind of stuff. And I read a book called The Sounds of Capitalism that really shows how the advertising industry took over the music industry. It's a really cool book if you want to check it out. And I will tell you, it really has. You think now with all the licensing agreements, we talk about Dr. Dre making music for video games, they're in commercials, there are trade-offs now, where it didn't used to be that way. There was a line between commercialism and music because it was an art form, and now that line is completely blurred and they tore down the wall.
And, obviously things change as they evolve and time goes on, but there have been some things that have changed where it goes more of that's kind of fishy. What the fuck is going on here?
Well, I know that they have these producers involved, and they have the record labels, these people who know stats and algorithms and all those kind of things, and they have a formula to create a hit song that will get played. And you'll notice now that they start a lot of times with hooks of songs.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that kind of time to drag somebody into it. They've got to hear why I want to listen to the song. So they put the hook right at the beginning of the song sometimes.
According to that email, it sounds like kids aren't really jiving with that.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Right.
It doesn't feel right, man. Just because... a few years everyone said everyone wants everything quicker, get to the point quicker,
Yeah.
even with music, doesn't mean that's what everyone wants.
Well,
sometimes you can let things breathe.
They got to realize you got the TikTok tunes, which is just the hook and maybe 8 to 10 seconds of the song. That's all fine and good, but there is something about having a relationship that goes both ways with your music, and you have to, like a real relationship, you can't rush through it. You've got to sit there and let it marinate and listen to it and use it in different parts of your life. And that's how songs attach to us. And when you hear a song and it takes you back to a nostalgic part in your life?
Yes.
That's because it was just playing as the soundtrack to your life. But if everything's so quick and rushed, you're right. It just seems fake. And
if that's all they're giving you and those are your only options, then obviously you're picking from that type of music
Right.
now. Now you're just picking from the best of what you're being presented.
And I will tell you, there's some artists. That's why, to me, I've always been an alternative music fan. Even I go back to when I was in third grade. I was listening to Duran Duran, and I looked at a lot of the songs, and they would play on pop radio, but they were alternative songs.
They were.
And I've always been alternative. And if you listen, they still create that kind of music. In fact, I'll tell you, Billie Eilish is creating, I'm listening to her songs, and you're like, this would never work. We would never play this on RMF or a pop station. And you know what? Good for her. She is creating stuff that there's no way this is going to get played on the radio.
And her brother. Keep that in mind, too.
True.
He's helping write that stuff.
But what they're putting out under her brand, yeah, I'm like, good for them. It's different sounds. They're really trying a lot of variety in what she's doing and her stuff. And it's a cool style. And I applaud it because you're right. Too much of it is homogenized. And music's always done that. When they find something they like, every song has to sound this way until they burn out that sound.
Entertainment in general. They find
Yeah.
something that's making money. Well, let's do the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Movies, too.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. And Doug also wanted to defend your choice, Jaybird, of the Twilight Zone Santa. And the original, it was played by Art Carney of the Honeymooners. And it is a really poignant and heartwarming story about Santa and the spirit of Christmas.
Is this the same guy with the music?
Yep.
I fucking love that guy.
Yeah, he's right up your alley with everything.
Guy is
The
totally...
Honeymooners. Now that's an old reference.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That guy gets me. I get that guy.
Doug gets you. There you go. All right, well, I think it's time to have some delicious beer. I got my Due South cap on today, and we are counting down the days.
What's up, y'all?
I believe we're just about 9 away from Due South shutting their doors. So I got to figure out what the heck is going on with this. What is the future of Due South? Is there one? What happened now? So we got Doug and Katie in here, and they always bring good tidings of great joy.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Now, the last time I saw you guys, it was at Oktoberfest, and
Yes.
you had just gotten the news that Due South was going to be shutting their doors, and it was like, oh my gosh, we can't let this happen, and I still believe in that and stand by that. But what can you tell us about why Due South got to that point to make that decision, if you can? What you can say.
Of course, yeah.
I've said some things myself. And then what can you tell us about the future of Due South?
Yeah, so I mean, I can dive in a little bit to the root causes. I think a lot of people will understand that the last, at this point, almost 2 years now of COVID has done a number for small businesses.
Yeah.
We were shut down for a bit, but we're able to open up and continue our business. But I think the biggest thing is we lease our space. And we have landlords, and our landlords with the current market wanted to bring things to market rate, and our lease was up, and so just kind of stalled on some negotiations, and that's kind of a big part. And
Can
the
we
other one
say
is
the gaudy
retirement.
amount that
Yeah.
they wanted to up your rent by, or no?
It was about double, at least a little over double.
This is exactly what happened to the Pizza Girls.
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
2 locations, one on Clematis and one in Gardens. Their location on Clematis had to close because the landlord wanted to double the rent, and they were like, no. And then he's like, bye. And then he had a new pizza place in there in a matter of weeks.
Yeah. And I've talked to some other people downtown West Palm that have the same situation. I see them pulling out all their equipment. I go, what's going on? I said, well, landlord doubled the rent. didn't want to work
Double
with us.
the rent.
Double the
Yeah.
rent. Just think about like what you pay on your own rent or mortgage. Imagine that doubling. You can't do it.
Well, I've heard that's really where it's going to be in the related company that is building stuff. They built that new building, what they're now calling the Square. It's not City Place. It's not Rosemary Square. It's now called the Square.
That's not confusing.
Yeah, I know. They're on their third name now.
Y'all got to
I'm gonna
figure
keep
out what your
calling
name.
it Rosemary Square.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep calling it City Place.
Place.
They're changing it again.
Joe Robbie,
Yeah.
City
Okay,
Place.
so it's
Now
always
the-
it's always City Place.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's now the Square.
It's City Place.
And so they are the ones that they're owned by, Stephen Ross is a part of it. He's the Dolphins owner, and they're the ones that put up that building there. But apparently they have been gobbling up everything. And their plan, if you look at the buildings they own in downtown West Palm Beach, is they want to refab all the way down and through Clematis. And the plan is to upgrade everything in the way it looks and charge astronomical rents. And it's going to become a very high-end, high-priced area. And so it is a change that they're redoing. They're knocking down a lot of places in the Square, and they're going to have a lot of buildings coming up through the ashes, and they're planning a lot of development. So West Palm Beach in the next 10 years is going to see a massive amount of change, and apparently it's going to be very expensive. So that's kind of where they're going with all that. So what you guys are going through, so many other businesses are going to have to start dealing with that, unfortunately. So just where we are.
Do you think
It is
that's-
unfortunate.
Do you think that's the right move? Do you think that that's going to make a lot of money doing all that down there, making it so fancy?
It's a trade-off. I will tell you. You get, some taxable income that comes in. It beautifies the area. It's very nice. But as we're all going to find out, it's going to price a lot of us out of the common things that we used to like to do. So that's the question for us commoners that are not of great wealth. What the hell is going to be left for us to be able to do that we can actually afford? And can we afford to live here and all that kind of stuff?
We got to go to the Palace and do roller skating. Those are the kind of events we can do. Roller skating.
Let's go.
All right.
That's
it's
it.
affordable.
Let's drink some
So
beer.
that sounds
and
like that sounds like you
then
drink beer after that.
Drink
Yeah.
beer and roller skate.
Okay, so I love this. You got some delicious looking
We have
beer over here.
some of our strawberry blonde, and then we also have some tangerine cat 3.
Wow.
Oh,
And
wow.
My
Tangerine Cat
favorite
3.
are raspberry sea salt porter.
Oh, good heavens. Good
That sounds like
tidings,
a
great
big
joy.
girl beer.
Yeah.
8%.
I like it.
So we know that, the rent got to be too much. It was just, I think Mike was done. He was ready to get out. And I know that there was a sale on the brand, which I think it's a strong brand. People know Due South. The logo and the merch is amazing. The beer recipes, there's nothing. The caramel cream ale is what it started with, and then
Oh, absolutely.
from
Yeah.
the Cat 3 and the Citrified, and you're even telling me
Category 5.
and I believe today's National Lager Day. I
Okay.
saw that, and you told me I think the lager was the best selling, right? Is
Yeah,
that right?
our blonde now. We changed that recipe a little bit. It used to be a lager, but y'all kept drinking so much of it, we had to speed up the process. So we moved to blonde ale instead. And yeah, it is our best selling in our tap room.
Wow.
for sure.
Okay, so where are we with Due South now? Like, what can you tell
Can
me?
I ask a stupid question?
Why stop now?
Of course.
Okay. No one's talking to you, first of all. I'm going to be an angry drunk. If you have all the equipment, can you just move due south and not necessarily close because the landlord's being a douche?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go someplace else.
Yes and no. It's just that equipment is huge and heavy, and it would take a lot. Like, didn't we have to get crazy construction forklifts to even get it in
Yeah,
that
you
building?
take part of the roof off to get the tanks out
Those
and
are
all
really,
that.
really big tanks
mean,
that we have.
Regardless of moving, which was an
Mm-hmm.
option we kind of floated out there, another big aspect of this beyond just the rent is our owners do want to retire,
Yeah.
and I don't blame
Yeah.
them for that. It's
Yeah.
a tough business. Brewing is very physically demanding, and so having to deal with all that
Yeah.
is you just get to a point where now the time's the time, and that's
If you guys need
a
help,
big thing.
If you guys need help
But
lifting shit, me and Kevin can help.
the two of you on
Just
that,
the two
that's
of you.
We
perfect.
can absolutely
We got
help.
it.
Huge stainless
We got
steel,
this.
easy.
Yeah, have you seen these hamburger hands in action?
Why don't you fucking pipe down?
You ain't lifting no tank.
All right, drink your beer.
But
Trying to look
the
cool
good
in front of
thing,
them.
though, the good thing, which I think Katie can attest to here.
I'm pretty sure I'm able to share this because I have been able to share this with our distributing partners, but we will be moving into contract brewing with Brew Bus / Florida Ave up in Tampa. They're a big
Okay.
contract brewer up there. And Caramel Cream and Cat 3 will live on,
Okay.
at least for
least.
now. I know that that's happening.
So you'll make them in Tampa with your same recipe.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All
But
is
we're not
lost.
involved in
Right.
any of the process.
Yeah.
We give our recipes to them. They handle that. They handle the distribution, the canning, the kegging, all of that.
So you shouldn't see anything, at Total Wine. It'll be the same can, same labels, same beer. Liquid is just being brewed at a different location.
There might be a little
so-
bit of a gap. We don't really know when they're going to be able
And
to
how
pick
does
up.
that work? Do you sell them the rights to those beers and those recipes?
I don't know the details.
they get
Yeah,
a
it's like a
cut?
licensing kind
Yeah.
of situation. It's
Yeah.
when you get like Fountain Coke, or actually I think any Coca-Cola, it's made at specific factories that is under licensed by. It's on the cans, all that fun stuff.
McDonald's has the best Coke.
It does.
They do.
They absolutely do.
Whatever deal they got, that's the one I want.
So what about you guys? Where are you guys going? And the final day for Due South is what day?
Sunday, December 19th.
Okay.
We
and,
open at noon. Come on out.
Close at 8.
Maybe.
and then you
People
guys.
are going to be crying.
People will be.
Where's
We
Doug
will
and
be.
Katie? Where you guys?
Doug's already
Listen.
moved on.
I moved on to complete 180. I'm working with the county now.
Okay.
Just
You
same
went
kind of
legit?
communications.
Did.
You
Yeah.
sold
It's
out.
a man.
Legit.
Sold
It's kind of legit.
Ah, you're wearing a
Not one
suit.
of them. I know.
Oh,
Wow,
Doug.
gotta be fancy now. No, it's good. It's for the clerk's office.
Okay.
It's one of those. It's,
Do you get to drink all day there? Too,
no,
or?
it is.
No.
It is
Okay.
the opposite.
No,
of
I still
that,
get those
which is
perks.
sad. Yeah, he still does. But it's good. Yeah.
Okay, Katie. What
I
can you
have
do?
no plans right now. Due South and the owners will need me into January just to close up the business, just
Yeah.
finalize the taxes and shit and all like the boring stuff.
Right,
behind the
right,
scenes.
right.
Well, what kind of job do you want? Because right now you can talk it and we'll find it.
I don't know.
Do you want to stay in beer? Or do you
I
want
don't know.
You don't know.
Kind
Okay.
of like a new chapter of my life, figuring shit out.
What
And
makes you
gonna happen.
happy? What's your passion?
Good question.
Poetry, juggling.
We want to get deep.
There's a
We're
lot of
trying to get deep.
There's not a lot of money in poetry.
Can we start drinking?
Or juggling.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Might as well.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Here
Oh,
we
I've
go.
been drinking mine.
Yeah, this is
Strawberry.
That's the strawberry.
That's your first
blonde.
beer, too.
this is my first
Ooh.
alcoholic beverage since November 1st.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Wow, you're popping his little newly formed cherry.
Look at that. Look how happy he is.
Oh, that's so good.
Was it worth the wait?
Yeah, well, if I had to do it, that's why I'm like going, it's the Due South. That's how I got to come back into the drinking world.
He's a
It's the
man of
only way.
ceremonies.
That is,
I
that's a
am.
good tasting beer.
It is. They're just all so good. Well, I'm at least the two. So, a Citrified, is that, do we know, Poof, is that gone? I love that one. Do we know
I
Citrified
think
lives
so,
on?
unfortunately. As good of a beer that one is, no one really like it wasn't a big seller for us
I
out there
noticed
in
that.
the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, people were surprised when I'd order. They're like, oh, you're the Citrified
Oh.
guy. Yeah.
No one ever gets this.
Yeah, I know.
It really will depend. After the 19th, there's the plan to kind of sell everything piecemeal. All as a package. If someone wanted to come in and
So
start a new brewery,
somebody's already gobbled up the Due South name, I assume then? That's kind of what it is. 'Cause
No.
I figured,
no.
They
No,
just
you're
took
just gonna-
they just took caramel cream ale.
I think just the rights to brew it for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Until at
And
some
one other
time
one, that's
someone
it.
wants
Yeah,
to-
just the
Oh, okay.
caramel and the cat
to
3.
purchase
That's
it.
it.
Yeah.
How much you want for Mexican standoff? Because I
Yes,
got
yes.
$10 in my pocket.
Start with
Sold.
10. Let's make it happen.
That is my favorite beer. I love that Mexican standoff.
That is a good one. That one I will be sad to see it go.
Yeah.
I hope.
I will
hope
say
something happens.
Yeah, I will say this has brought out everyone, all our fans
Oh, yeah.
that throughout the years have come and just Instagram and Facebook are just inundated. Oh my gosh, I want this beer and this beer. They're so great. Going down the list, and
Yeah.
it really is. There's so many great beers that were made over the
so
last.
many.
I
My
think
gosh.
I think I saw you on the big screen. Were you doing a news interview talking about your new chat? I thought I saw you in an interview somewhere talking about that.
It's quite possible. There's been a
Okay.
lot going on the last.
I've been
2
watching.
months,
I've been
yeah.
watching every piece of footage.
You got that Google alert for me, don't you?
He's a stalker.
Wow, I was.
that's true.
That's kind of crazy. I don't know why. I guess I thought you guys were coming in here. It's like, hey, Due South is living on, and it's here, and it's that.
I wish
it,
we had
and-
good news like that.
I know, and we're still. I mean, I hate to say we're still trying to wrap our heads around it too. It's been what, 6 weeks? Because we learned that Friday, right before the Oktoberfest.
You guys had that look in
Quick
your eyes like you
meeting,
just
and then-
gotten hit in the
And it
face
was
with a
so
2x4.
weird because, like, for me personally, I had my husband's best friends come in to surprise him for his birthday that week.
Yeah.
We were going to Oktoberfest. I'm out for the day. I'm like trying to meet up with the friends, and then Mike calls us in for a meeting, and I'm like, well, shit, what? This can't be good to call us all in for a meeting
We don't
in the
normally
afternoon.
have all hand meetings yet.
And that was it.
We know we've had a couple of those
Yeah.
meetings before. we know,
Come to the conference room. You're like, uh-oh.
We know the look.
We know walking down that plank.
Yeah, we know.
The text message was, "How soon can you get here?" I'm like, "Oh,
shit.
Boy.
what's happening?" And so, you know, we go in, we all meet up, and he breaks the news that, I don't want to say we saw it coming, just the way that things had been, but our building has been up for lease for
6
a
months?
while. No.
Well, you guys had
before that
the
long,
revamped tap room and everything. Like, so that's just the new landlord. Like, what the hell are you going to do with that,
Gotta
dude?
take
I
it
guess
down.
just, gosh,
Pretty
that was
sure
so
we have to take
nice.
that all down.
You have to deconstruct the tap room?
What the hell, man?
You always saying it's hard, Kev.
I am. I'm like, this is awful.
It's the way of leasing.
fucking
You don't
awful.
own your building.
It
man.
really
That's
sucks
what's
too.
crazy.
The douchey
Holy
landlord,
crap.
the double, the over
Can
over
you?
double.
Okay, here's what we should do. We should get KVJ Nation together to go deconstruct the tap room and rebuild it in Kevin's living room.
Ooh, okay.
I got nothing
Backyard?
else in there, so why not? I would love to. Seriously, I would. If the
A
queen would
South
be into
bar
it.
right in your house.
Oh, I would totally do that.
We can
Why
make
not?
it work. We can
It
make it work.
lives
We
on.
have to get you
Yeah.
like parts of that tap room or something.
Yeah.
I know.
Just random
Yeah.
parts, like somehow.
Sell
I
the
don't know.
planks.
Yeah.
exactly.
People are already trying to claim like
everything.
everything. They're trying to pick us apart right now. And
Yeah.
we're like, we're still trying to serve beer
You're
for
taking
you.
those windows with you. You're
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
I heard you had to tell people online to stop taking the beer glasses.
Yeah.
I didn't realize when I went into work yesterday.
Please
I
don't.
actually took a look at like our glassware rack, and I'm like, "Holy shit, they really are." We're just completely out of
They
snickers.
took all the
All
glasses.
gone.
This is crazy. Yeah. This is. I don't even know how to. Can I get another beer?
Savages. All of them. Yeah, let's do.
Gosh.
He's back.
Is that,
Yeah.
Tangerine
Yeah.
Cat
Oh
three?
yeah. Tangerine Cat 3. So good. Yeah. Holy crap, man. How the hell does this stuff happen? When you guys have, I mean, because there are businesses that I get when they close. I'm like, they sucked. You know, you're like, that makes perfect sense, of course. But when you do it all right, how the hell do businesses go out?
If Kevin wasn't a robot, I would think, holy shit, he's about to cry.
He is about to cry. He's been very upset about this.
I have.
For a few. Every time he talks about it, he gets a lump in his throat.
I
Well,
do.
there's a lot of just awkward pauses.
And we have history with you guys too. I mean, you guys helped us
We
create
made
the
beers for
KVJ
you.
beers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We did a lot of
We have a
beers.
friendship.
Yeah, I'm just still stunned by it. I think I'm probably how you guys are. Like, it's surreal. I'm like, I can't even believe it's happening.
What is coming out of my eye? These are tears.
Malfunction.
Sometimes
malfunction.
it's hard too because like they're actively showing the space while we're still trying to work.
It's cold.
So like the brokers will come in
God,
and
business is
come into
cold,
my
isn't it?
office, and I'm like, please just leave.
Right.
Like, can't you wait?
It's just cold.
Yeah.
Gosh. Yeah, I mean, we were, the Queen and I were kicking around because I'm like, hey, I've always wanted to have a bar. That
Oh, yeah.
was my whole thing. I would love doing that. I just love talking to people. And, we had gone to a bar not too long ago and the owner was there. He was doing shots with people, just talking to people. My wife's like, that would so be you. I'm like, I would love that. That would be a great.
You know everyone's name. Hey, there's Mikey.
That'd be
hey!
a great existence. I love people. I love to be able to do that. And we were kicking around like, so how could we do this? Because unfortunately, I don't know shit about the restaurant business, and I know you need to know something about it. I don't know anything about business and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, how do we make this thing happen? Because I'm like, what if we did kind of like a brewery restaurant and we could get the Due South name and all this kind of stuff?
She knows about the business.
I know, and
She's
that's
our
why I'm
operations
like,
manager.
I'm gonna need a job soon.
I need to
needs a
get
job.
serious putting the team together and then we even look because the West Palm Brewery didn't close down. We even looked and they had a sign in the window and we called that. And I was just curious. I'm like, because that's a great location.
You making money
fantastic location.
moves.
Absolutely.
It's a
Making
great,
calls?
It's a great location, and I'm like, why is it's so made for a restaurant brewery, and they can close it down? I went there one time, and they closed down the street, and they had the block party, and you got the Bright Line right there. Like, this is so awesome. So we called, and they wanted $22,000 a month for rent.
Dang.
Shit that.
And I'm like, holy shit, like how much money you would have to make to just cover your rent at $22K. So, I mean, I'm like, all
You would
right.
have to hope an NBA team or a Major League Baseball team came into your bar every single night.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. So,
Either that or KVJ Nation.
yeah,
But
well,
every
True.
single
That'd be
night.
every night.
if there's any restaurant people that know business and all that want to all get together, I need the team. I don't know what I provide to the team.
You're the mouthpiece.
I'll be the mouthpiece.
You're the
The
PR.
idea, man.
I'm the cheerleader.
what
You're
it
the
is.
marketing.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're all those things.
And you go in there, you know everyone's name. You dust off the glass. You pour a couple beers for people.
I do that guy, yeah.
You do.
I do. I learned how to pour a good beer. So, yeah, so we got to put that together.
I like it.
Well, thank
No,
you guys
seriously,
for
I think it's
coming
good.
in. This is so crazy. But hey, if it's got to end, at least we're all here together, right?
Yeah, and I'm hoping we can end on a high note, which I'm very
Yeah.
excited for. Well, we have this 2 weeks now. right?
Yeah.
Is what it is. So
If the
or not
19th
even.
is the
week
last.
from Sunday.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. If you want to come and experience Due South for
Mm-hmm.
the last time as its original form, I definitely this week and
I'd be a
up to
crying.
19.
I
Do it.
would be so depressing in there. I'd be crying. But don't go.
I kind of feel like you're depressed now.
I am. I feel like it's Kevin.
I'm kind of down and out right
I'm really bringing this whole podcast down. I'm so sorry. I'm not taking this well.
I just keep looking over at you, and
I know.
you keep looking at everybody who's going, I can't believe this is happening.
I'm not taking it
You
well.
just keep looking for a tear to
I
come
know.
out, just waiting.
I'm not taking it well. Okay. All right. Well, let's do it then. I guess next weekend.
How do I
Say goodbye to what we used to
Oh,
do.
gosh, I need to listen to that song.
The good times.
All right, Doug, Katie, thank you guys so much. Cheers to Due South.
Cheers.
Cheers. May it always
Cheers.
live on.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to go weekend, but it doesn't feel right.
Thanks for the
No,
memories.
you know what?
Thank
still
you.
a weekend.
Yeah, you're right. The weekend.
Yeah, it's the
To the
weekend.
memory. To the
All
memory.
right, man.
Today's my birthday, so
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
and I will be at Krampus night tonight. So
Oh,
that should be
There we
fun.
go. I love it.
I think
Okay.
Doug will too.
Yeah.
Doug's gonna be
Yeah,
there
I'll
with
get
us.
some
Oh,
Krampus.
So,
okay.
yeah,
All right.
we can continue the party later.
Yeah.
Let's get fucked up.
Birthday Krampus.
You'll get a lap dance, Doug.
And let me just close by saying alcohol is so good.
Welcome back, Kevin.
Kevin's back.
Yeah. Once it hits your lips, it's so good.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.